Most people think a relationship ends with an explosion. A fight, a scream, a packed suitcase. But at Camison context, we know the truth is much quieter. Sometimes it isn't a betrayal that ends things, it's proximity. Ava and Bryan were just friends. The kind everyone says you shouldn't worry about. The kind that feels safe. But safe is a dangerous word when it comes to the heart. Because lines don't always disappear. Sometimes, they just slowly fade until you're standing on the other side without even realizing you moved. They had known each other for years. Long enough to feel comfortable. Long enough for Bryan to know exactly how Ava took her coffee. And for Ava to know the specific look Bryan gave when he was lying to himself. Their friendship was an easy Camison. A chemistry that didn't raise alarms because it had been there so long it felt like furniture. It was inside jokes that required no explanation. It was late-night phone calls that started with "Are you awake?" and ended 3 hours later with "I can't believe we're still talking." There was nothing inappropriate. No secret touches. No hidden messages. Just closeness. And closeness, when left unchecked, starts to feel like home. And that's where the danger lives, in the quiet understanding that doesn't need words. Because not every relationship is threatened by a stranger. Sometimes it's the person who was already there. The one who knows your childhood stories. The one who knows your favorite song. Inside a relationship, we build walls to keep the world out. But Ava and Bryan were already inside the walls. They were grandfathered in. It started with moments of silence that felt a few seconds too long. It was the way Bryan would linger at the door when leaving, as if he was waiting for a question she hadn't asked yet. It was the way Ava would find herself comparing her boyfriend's reactions to Bryan's. She wasn't looking for a replacement. She was just noticing the context. The lines weren't gone. They were just becoming translucent. One evening, Ava invited Bryan over. Nothing unusual. No plans. Just a familiar presence filling a familiar space while her boyfriend was away on business. The air in the room felt heavy, like it was charged with static. Every look lingered a second longer than a friend should look. Every laugh felt like a secret. They were standing close enough to see the boundary. Not because they wanted to cross it, but because for the first time, they were brave enough to look at it. Nothing happened. No hands were held. No words were confessed. But something shifted in the Camison of the room. It was the realization that the only thing keeping them apart wasn't a lack of desire. It was a choice. And sometimes, knowing you could cross the line is just as life-changing as actually doing it. Later that night, Bryan left. No drama. No confusión. Just the kind of quiet that follows an epiphany. He didn't text her "I'm home." She didn't check her phone for his name. Because they both knew. They had reached the edge of the map. Because some moments don't end with mistakes, they end with awareness. And the hardest part isn't stopping yourself from crossing a line. It's admitting the line was already closer than you thought. It's realizing that the "just a friend" tag was just a cover for a story neither of them was ready to write. So tell me, when does friendship stop being harmless? Is it the first secret? The first linger? Or is it the moment you realize you're looking for context in the wrong person? Who's responsible for noticing it first, the friend or the partner? Drop your thoughts below.